All right, ladies and gentlemen, traders, welcome back to another Relentless recap. As you're tuning in, be sure to hit that thumbs up, and if you're a new viewer, consider subscribing to the channel. So today we're going to talk about the red to green I've been able to pull off here. I ended the live stream down about $1,200 and was able to get some damage control going and get the miraculous red to green up about 362 to end the day. Red shirt does equal green day here still. We're about 40-6 or 44-6 while I was wearing red throughout our career here as a trader. The red shirts are really prevailing. I'm not superstitious, but I mean, I don't know what to say, right? I have this red mug. I have some red slippers on, right? Actually, let me grab the other side. I have some red slippers. Store is getting it done. Here you guys can see my red slides, right? So, I don't know, man. Maybe I have to start wearing red. I got a red towel over there in the other room. So, maybe it's time to start wearing red every day. Okay, enough of the jokes. My shirt has nothing to do with the outcome of the day, as we all know. This all comes down to our trading, our discipline, and the momentum that's in front of us. And in terms of the momentum that we had in front of us early, it was a little slow. So if we're to look at our scanner, and if we're to come down here to the discovery section and take a look at some of the stocks that were a little hotter this morning in terms of what our watch list consisted of, you guys will see ticker symbols EFOI. In fact, so many of them are sold off already. Yeah, there's actually not. Okay, there we go. There we go. ST. There it is. Momo Pro is having some difficulties. Here we go. STAI. This is one of the hotter stocks that we had earlier today. Up 77% still. 132 million shares of volume. 20 million shares in the float. But you guys will see a lot of other cheaper tickers kind of came up here as the day went on. Now, STAI, this is the one that we did well on. And so we'll talk about this. But, before we do look at it, let's look at PRFX. One of our leading stocks that's no longer high on the list because of how much it sold off. Man, oh man, was this thing strong pre-market. And you guys can see it had two moves. One around 5 a.m. and a second rally around 8:30. Going from about 270 all the way to 547, and coming into the open I had high hopes for this one doing well and pushing forward, but really and truly it was a big dud. Chop, sideways momentum. When we did look like we were getting a good red to green move here, our consolidation did not hold up. In fact, where we were hoping this flag would continue sideways and then retest the highs for a breakout, it instead broke down, and that's the last thing we wanted to see. And so very disappointing for PRFX, only walking away with $146 there. Now in terms of where we had red trades, WKEY, this stock I was not trading right away because it was more so of a stock that hit the scans and started to push, and I was a little occupied thinking PRFX, STAI, and others would have been better. And so I didn't really trade this one all the way up until this halt resumption here, which resulted into a big dip and rip, which is ultimately what I like to see from these moves. But it the way how it looks on the candles on the chart here, it looks very clean. I thought it was pretty choppy on the resumptions, and I did not get to do well. Using bigger size, 10,000 shares and more, sometimes a little less. I would get some brutal fills. I remember buying the stock at like 107. I'm in at 111. I'm buying at 104. I'm in at 107. Like just madness on in this. And this thing had a tight spread for the most part, but in the key areas where I'm trying to get in, where there's that volatility and the spreads might open up, that absolutely obliterated. WKEY, no good, no good, no good. But this one was not on my radar pre-market. Perhaps I could have added a few more stocks to my watch list because this one was up a little bit. Volume was light, but So KWE ended up giving a massive move, and for a lot of people, this might have been the stock of the day. I wouldn't be surprised. You know, a 80% move, hey, you can't go wrong, especially if you see it early. Now, the penny stocks has been a little tricky as of late, but this red to green does look pretty clean. I mean, this uptrend here looked great. The consolidation looked great. I can't help but feel as if I'm watching it this early, especially as this red candle starts to base, that I could have done well in this uptrend, done well in the consolidation, done well in this breakout, and a quick 3-bar play here, which then went into the halt up. And of course, being in a better rhythm, understanding more of how the stock is moving, perhaps then I could have done better where I did show up and tried to trade it instead. We're at 550. So it really goes to show that you got to be careful, right? You can't come till the backside of the move sometimes and then expect to dominate. So after trying here and not doing well, I think I took the loss here and I said, hey, you know what, man, that's it for me in this stock. So moving on, PRPH. Let's pull up the show trades on this one. I can't remember exactly where I got in, so let's see. Okay, this was a cheaper stock as well. So we had the bull flag going. We're watching to see how well this thing can consolidate and make the new high. It looked like we were about to have a bit of a 3-bar play, and I was hoping that this would have been a bit of a green candle here. And so I bought the dip right towards the low of the last candle, looking for it to hold up and then curl up with a big move like this. So I'm in approximately here and then here, and this thing just kept going down. I had to stop out, you know, from here. You know, I told myself once again, hey, sadly, I'm showing up and it's the backside. I'm showing up in this area here when everything is somewhat done versus showing up in the beginning of this move, in particular, somewhere down here. So you got to be careful, you know, when you pull up these stocks and you're already up a little bit, especially if that follow through and continuation is just not going to come. You got to really look to keep it tight and be careful. That was PRPH. So, you know, all these losses, 500 on KWE. Another 275 here, and then now SLDB, which was also a strong stock pre-market. This one started off around 340, around 7 a.m. market time, pushed up to 841. And then into the open, I'm thinking, hey, this looks great. We had a nice move here early into our second candlestick. And again, this is what opted me to create a new rule, which is don't size up in the first 5 minutes. Don't size up in the first 5 minutes is my new rule moving forward until further notice, until we can see more consistency in these first 3 minutes, because the opening surge has been miserable. We saw it once or twice the last 3-4 weeks. So we opened high of 677, low of 650. The stock makes a new low of 630 and rips up to 704. And I'm like, wow, sweet, big, bullish engulfing candlestick. This is exactly what a buyer wants to see. And I started to pay attention for then the first pullback. Can we bull flag? Can we hold up and then make new highs after such an aggressive candle? And the stock was at rest coming into the open, right? A bit of a pullback. And so I was thinking this thing might be ready for an early move into new highs. Sadly, my assumptions were short-lived. So I bought, again, this pullback here, watching for it to bounce, and it never did. Instead, it was a Christmas tree pattern. We went up, and we went right back down to those lows. Very, you know, and it's crazy because if I'm watching the low of the day entry down here, then perhaps I could have gotten a good trade in down here, and then selling on the higher side of these candlesticks. Because you can see it curled back up, right? So what I was looking for the uptrending move just did not work out well. Just disappointing that, you know, we didn't really get to see the early continuation. And so I gave back on that drop. And then when it did come back up again, we had the consolidation and the new high, which was good. We're trying to really get in a good rhythm here. It makes the move up, and then it just pulls back right on top of us. Right on top of us. High of 718 all the way down to 661. Just disappointing. We would love to see this continue on a slow trend, a fast trend, halting up, whatever, to the upside, but right back down. And if I zoom out on the 5, you guys will get another quick look of the overall view and look of the chart here. Got the 3-minute over here as well. So we had a small, range, and then it just broke down and sold off. SLDB, no good. We can get rid of the show trades now. And then, so for the last stock, STAI, as mentioned, we were able to do well here. I did say in the live stream that I liked this stock. I didn't think I was going to come back, but when I saw it, I'm like, you know what? It just looks too good, right? So we had the ABCD pattern, which is our W, right? We had our W here. Pull up the drawing tool. We had our W. Oh, that's not what I need. Let's get this one. Yeah, so we had our W, and it's always important that we can hold up our pivot level, right? Our midpoint area. And coming across, you can see we pulled back right into this trend line here around 380. So we started to then have the bull flag up here, right? We had the bull flag. We already saw how many times we were looking at it to work out today. And finally, it wasn't the best flag. We had a bit of a higher consolidation at first, looking to go, but then it broke down sideways and then curled up. In fact, we had a bit of a mini ABCD, right, within this pattern. And we had resistance, support. Are we going to go up? Or are we going to go down? All within this range. And we can zoom in on it, right? We can zoom in and redo the trend line. So resistance, support, resistance. It went down, reclaimed, nice move up. And I bottom take this candle here. I gotta do better, man. Like I knew. The moment I got this trade, I knew this thing was gonna do well. And then I still sold it at 75 like a moron. And I'm gonna use that word. It's not a good word, but this is where we have to be disciplined, man. You can't let your eyes light up because you saw 10 cents. When you know the stock could go up 15, 30, 40, 50 cents. And I'm going to make this mistake not once, right? Not once, but then also twice. Because I knew above the resistance, we would have been good. And so right here, I bought again above the resistance, looking for the move to go up. And I bought 6,000 shares. My plan was to buy at least 4 or 5 times that amount. I chickened out. I chickened out of the trade. I chickened out of the trade. Man, I was a little disappointed after that, but and even then, so a lot of execution and management, right? Even then, my target was a little closer to high of day. And I sold in at 95 area. I sold at 99, 406, 407. And then I bought back. In fact, I was just reviewing this trade with Big Steve. I bought back at 12 above this resistance. And this time I did a better job holding all the way up to 36, letting the stock work. But if I'm to go back, I had this entry. Patience of what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes. 6 minutes of patience could have gotten me all the way up here. Sometimes it's not rocket science, man, but you have to be disciplined. You can't, and this is why it's not good to look at P&Ls, and it's just good to focus on the indicators. And I don't necessarily look at my P&Ls, but sometimes I'll say to myself, man, I'm up 10 cents. Why do I need to hold this trade? I'm in 3K shares. I'm already up $300. But again, there's levels to this thing. Do we want to be content just making $300 for life? Or do we want to join the big leagues and say to ourselves, if we manage this trade properly, understanding where it should go based off of its potentials, based off of the candlesticks, the indicators, the moving averages, and everything that we know, intuition, do we want to give it a chance to get to where we know it can go? Or do we want to settle and take 5 cents? And it's not wrong to take 5 or 10 cents, if the stock is telling me to take 5 or 10 cents. If the stock is saying, hey, RT, this is weak, we're not going anywhere, take the money and get out the heck out, wait for the next move, great. But not when it's telling me RT, it's whispering into my ears, RT, RT, we can go all the way, we can go all the way. Get the explosion. So, I'm a little disappointed there. I mean, it's like it just goes to show you the potential. What I would call subpar trading in this area, not doing the best of our abilities, we were able to make $1,400 going from red 1,200 to green. And it just shows you, if you really continue to master yourself, master your emotions, this amount can turn into 5K. And it's all relative. On the days where you would have been 5K, not really at your best, maybe it becomes 25K, right? So there's work to be done, and tomorrow we have to try and execute. So I'm going to write down that rule, of course, to myself here. I'm going to write down two things. One, see the trades through that you need, that the market is telling you it's going to, capitulate and give that move. And then second, wait 5 minutes before sizing up. And then that'll do it. All right, I've got my rules written down. I'm ready for tomorrow. And so before we do head out, a couple of quick announcements. Remember to first check out those links down below for the scanner. Coupon code Relentless for those of you who are interested in utilizing Momo Pro. That'll give you 25% off for 6 months. And then also don't forget to check out the course website if you're interested in becoming a student here and potentially also winning a chance to come hang out at the next day trading team house. All right, the next day trading team house is going down in March, so you guys can feel free, you guys can utilize coupon code team. Not only will you have a chance to win the trip to come hang out, study, learn, work, and grow with us. This day we went to the exchange, by the way. All right, shout out to the guys. You will also gain access to everything that we offer, including our live trading archives, our coaching calls, which are now also going to be happening on Fridays, Mondays, and Fridays. All right. You know how WWE has Monday Night Dynamite? We got our own slogans coming. All right. Monday and Fridays, we're going to start going crazy with more study sessions. Myself, Marcelo, we got Triad, and we're going to also be bringing in a lot more guests moving forward, as in profitable students and other team house members who are free and willing to give you guys a quick 10, 15, 20 minutes of their time for Q&As and things of that sort. All right. So check out the curriculum as well, which is the A to Z course, everything that you need to go from zero to advance. Everything that you need to go from zero to advance. All right, coupon code team will give you guys 50% off, which is the biggest coupon we've ever ran here, I think in like a year and a half, 2 years. So feel free to check it out. And lastly, I think we have to end on this note. The disclaimer: remember that day trading is risky. All right, remember, my results are not typical. Remember, it's hard, it takes time, and we don't advertise like the rest of these people because we're actually transparent traders. We don't lie and say $100 you can make 10,000 1 week, 1 month, 1 year. No, it takes time to learn how to trade. You don't have to lose money to learn how to trade. I'll tell you that, if you're practicing in a small account or in a simulator, but it's going to take time. And I'm here to remind people that nothing great ever happens quickly, especially financially, unless you win a lottery. And even when people win lotteries, if they don't have financial backgrounds, it comes with problems, right? Because they don't know how to manage, budget, or be responsible with money. So nothing quick really ever lasts, right? But when you go through the weeks, months, and years it might take you to become profitable and get to the other side, you'll really understand what it means to have freedom, right? So keep that in mind. And other than that, remember, I do not invest for my subscribers, right? If you do become a student, by the way, as we're about to shut it down, remember, you'll also have access to the chat room where you guys can always come hang out with the team, share trade ideas, discuss, see how others are doing. You guys can always check the P&L sections as well. See how the other traders, you can see a lot of the guys had a rough time today. You guys can see how everyone is doing, and feel free to check out, hang out, and so forth and so forth. But yeah, guys, stay safe, stay green. It's been a Relentless Trader. Hit that thumbs up. Check out the links down below. Remember our disclaimer. Red shirt equals green day, and tomorrow again. Stay safe, stay green.